Hi, friends. Welcome back. Let's see. Okay. Do not disturb is on. AirPods are in, and we're live. So I hope that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm not going to look. It's worked so far today, so we're just going to say that it's going to work as we go on. So, what have we done so far? First, we took a look at a sneak peek of the projects from the National Scrapbook Day event that we're hosting, that Hope Hardy and I are hosting on May the 3rd. I didn't give you any background from that, and I need to back up and do that. When um, when I went to the on stage, which is a Stampin' Up convention in March last month in Raleigh, my friend Kim Allen and her team hosted an event called Stampin' in the Stockroom. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. Stockyard is in Nashville. Stockroom was in Raleigh. And they hosted that on Thursday morning. And these are pretty much the projects that they designed for our event. We have a little bit of a surprise that we are adding to our event on National Scrapbook Day, but the cards, the pages that I shared with you earlier today, the little mini album, those were all designed by my friend Kim and her team. And it was a wonderful event. We had a great morning all stamping together. There were 120 of us, maybe, all Stampin' Up! Demonstrators from around, could be around the world, but most of us around the nation. There were other locations for some of the other international Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. It was the first time for us to gather together with those former creative close to my heart makers. I had a great time sitting on the flight back home with one of those former Close to My Heart makers. She had been with Close to My Heart for over 20 years. Turns out that she is a regular at Hope's Haven. So we had all kinds of stuff in common. I had a great time learning more about her. She shared some details with me about how Close to My Heart ran their virtual album retreat, which Stampin' Up! Is hosting in July. So more to come on that. I'm super excited about that event. I even took the days off of work in July so that I could give it my all. Um, but so we did that. That was first, right? We took a look at those projects, and then the next video we we did all of the cutting for all three projects. We sorted out our die cuts for all three of the projects. And by projects, each project is two 12 by 12 pages. So they the two coordinating pages, a left and a right. And now in this video, we're going to assemble pages 1 and 2. And then we'll do in the next video at 2 o'clock, we'll do 3 and 4. And then we'll wrap up with pages 5 and 6. Now, along the way, I want to sprinkle in some of the other scrapbooking kits. Of the ones that are available right now, I have put together all the pages except for one kit. I've not done the storybook kit yet. And actually, I thought that's what I was going to do today, was to do the series on the storybook. But I really wanted to kind of tie this into what we've got going on next month and felt like the Everyday You and Me was the one to do. And I'm debating what photos I'm going to use for these pages. And so we'll talk about that as we start assembling them too. I want your feedback. What would be some of the events in your life that you would use this theme for? I think the colors would be gorgeous for some of our Hawaii adventures, but maybe it's our Norway trip. So I'm I'm just not sure. So I'm curious to know what you see, how you would use these to record the memories in in your life. And before I jump into that, something occurred to me as I was driving around earlier this week. I started scrapbooking, as I shared with you, in 1998. And it's just the process of creating the page, putting your photos down, and doing the journaling cements the memory, right? Um, I think about the page I made for when my friend Sybil and I took my kids camping. Okay, it came a torrential downpour. I can see that page in my mind and go back to that event just like it was yesterday. And in actuality, It was a long time ago. It was many, many yesterdays. The Disney trip. That's the very first thing I scrapbooked. Okay, that's hard coded in my memory now because I took the time to create a scrapbook with those photos. And there was another fantastic example of that. This completely slipped my mind. So clearly, I meant to move on. So I'm going to switch the camera and show you how the guide is going to help us put our pages together. So I'm on page 5, right? We've finished our cutting guides. And now we come to the page where we have a color photo example of what the page should look like. And then we have kind of a more translucent image that includes those I, IDs for the pieces that we cut in the second video, right? And then we have some instructions. So um, in the prepare section, it tells us that, hey, if you would like, you can brush some pecan pie ink on those die cuts, that chipboard, to add a little more color if you like. So I've got a blending brush and pecan pie ink to do set out to do that. Um, and then here it walks us through the assembly that we're going to do. We're going to, and here for the left page, we're going to start with 1A and 1B, and we're going to adhere that to the light, pretty peacock base. And then we'll add 1C, 1D, 1E, and we'll add photos to them. And then a reminder, do not use adhesive on the bottom of 1E. You'll place other pieces behind them later, okay? Adhere the title sticker and embellish with the die cuts and stickers, placing a few under 1E. So 1E is right here, and what they're talking about is on the bottom of this, you don't want to adhere that down because you're going to tuck these pieces into it. All right, so now a lot of these pieces you'll find say to flag the ends, and some people are really good and can do that with scissors. I'm not one of those people. I use the retired banner punch from Stampin' Up, or the I can't think of the name of the other one. I'll have to give that to you later. But you can also use like anything that's got any punch that has a square edge to it. You can use that as your flag punch as well. So let's get going. Of course, my nose has to run because, you know, I turned the camera on. So excuse me while I step kind of aside and wipe my nose. I might need those flag punches. I'm just going to step over there and grab those really quickly. Hope that they are where I think they are. Here's the small one, and then here's the big one. Now, I believe that this one is still current. I wouldn't swear to that though. I know that this one is retired, but I'm going to keep those handy for making those flag ends. I told you earlier I would be using an embossing buddy for any stickers that I want to pop up on dimensionals. And I think I probably need to pull back the camera so that we get a little better view. So, all right, here is the pile for project 1, right? And we added our base pages as well. So I'm going to sort those out so that we can work with one page at a time. Now we want the light on top. So I'm going to set those like so. And then I'm looking at my pages over there. So I've got my photo placeholders out. I need 3 of those for each page. That much I know. I'm going to need, let's see, who are you? You are 1A, and 1A is going to go on the left side like so. And this is 1B. 1B is going to go roughly there. We need I wonder if that is I think that is probably a sticker down there. We're going to use this on this side. I'm going to use Don't believe we're using that one. I think we're using this side. And then we're going to use, I think those are going to be stickers that go here. And then we're going to have 3 of our 3 1/4. So we'll do that there. Then just going to flip the page over, see what we need for this side. We'll get our chipboard pieces out in just a moment. All right, so we're going to need this large plaid piece here. And then we have looks like we have this one and this one. And we have 1M. Okay, I didn't label that, so we'll just come back and make sure I've got that right in a bit. And looks like we should have a strip of 2 strips of wild wheat. Did I not cut those? So see here, I need, looks like 1 0 and 1 H. We'll go back to that page and see what I did there. Or are they just the, oh, maybe they're just the 2-inch pieces. Well, aren't they clever? Look at this, guys. So we're going to do, and this will help us keep all the spacing right too. So here, here. This was very clever. Ah, clever, but my fingernails say no. Okay, that. Then we have this piece that's going to go in the middle there. At least I'm pretty sure I got those. I'll check my sizes. Let's see. You are, this is J. All right, well, J goes up here. Who are you? I goes, okay, so I did put them right. And then you are 1T. Okay, so that's good. Then we have this going here. And then everything else is going to be stickers or chipboard. Oh, fantastic. Okay. So, whoops, where do you go? You go there. All right. And my photos, I have 3x4s. So I have 1, 2, 3. Okay, somewhere or another I set those aside. Anyway, we will find them because I think I got all 6 out. All right, so starting on the left, there's going to be a sticker that comes down here. I kind of need to push that back a bit. I don't know that I can. All right, I'll do the best I can. I am new to working with this size. Okay. All right, light side up. We're going to adhere this side down, and I'm working with seal. Remember, it's not Aladdin's carpet. It's not going to go off. This becomes permanent. I just want to, this is flush against the edge. So I want to see that I've got that. And it's going to be flush, top to bottom, left to right. Guys, forgive my head because I'm probably sticking it all in the space you're trying to look at. All right, that's good. And then I am guessing that we're going to center our wild wheat piece there. And you know what? My ruler is over here. Forgive the noise for a second while I grab it. And this is pretty cool. This tells me that I want this to be 4 inches in is where this is going to go. So it's going to go flush to the top and 4 inches in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the 8, which is going to be just into that. And it is, so it doesn't have to be exact, but roughly right there. Oh, did I just run out? Oh, well. And you get to see how you refill. I will say that I think I'm going through tape runners faster than I have in the past. So who's crafting today? Any of you scrapbooking today, or are you card making? I have some things I need to get in the mail, and I need to work on some thank you cards that I'm making for my sister-in-law. She is a realtor in Missouri, and I kind of created a thank you note for her, thank you card for her a few years ago, and she's out, needs some more. So I worked on that a good bit a few weeks ago when we were at the cottage in the crazy weather, and then I had to order some more supplies. Didn't quite have everything that I needed, so I'm going to wrap those up today. At least that's the goal. And then I need to be cutting some of the die cuts for the May 3rd event. All right, so I could put the photo placements down, or I don't need to. We'll see. I don't know. I guess I will. And am I gonna, now comes the question, am I gonna do this light side up to match this? Well, it's kind of hard for you all to see. Or am I gonna do it dark? There you can see the contrast. And I think I'm gonna do dark. It's not a ton that's gonna show because this is a photo would be on top of it, right? But I think I will. And I'll go ahead and put my photo placeholder. And I didn't put that down using a lot of adhesive so that if I wanted to lift it up, because if I decided I didn't want the white photo mat and it was going to show on whatever photo I've placed, I can lift this up. If you worked with dental floss to do something like that, or the putty end of the Take Your Pick tool, that's great for sliding under things when you need to lift the adhesive as well. So I'm just putting a little bit in the center. Now, I've told you all before that I don't know that I saw things that I had a good grasp on what was straight before my retina went bananas. But since my retina is bananas, I really don't see straight very well. So I hope that you give me some grace if you ever receive something from me and say, man, oh man, what happened here? Shouldn't this be straight? Because sometimes it should be, and it just won't be. And that one has got That's really far off to the left, isn't it? So I just kind of twisted that to loosen whatever had grabbed already. Yep, I do have one eye closed while I try and do that. So if you followed me for any length of time, then you probably remember a time in our history when I had Facebook Lives regularly. I did them every week, and I offered a class to go, and I offered a monthly club. And when I went back to work almost 2 years ago, in fact, it was about 2 years ago right now that I received my offer, I really had myself overcommitted, and I backed off. And now I am working to, don't want to get back to overcommitting myself, but I do want to add some things back in. There's just so much that I feel like I want to show you, and it's there's not time, and it's really hard for you as I don't know, it's hard for demonstrators. There's so much. Now I just kind of gauge that to be I could use the bottom of the plaid to kind of get it even, and I just know that I'm going to come about 1.5 inches down. I'm not going to measure that perfectly. You certainly can. So as I try and work myself back into a routine of doing live streams and offering classes, both in person and to go, be gentle. It's probably going to be bumpy, but I'm trying. But I'm thinking one thing that we can do pretty easily is add in kind of what we'll call a kind of a kit. Oh, hold on, I can't talk and measure at the same time. So that if you buy your kit from me, whether it's a scrapbook kit or a card making kit, I'm gonna have a time when you can come over to my house and put your kits together, have your space for you, and we can all craft together. We don't have to be crafting the same thing, but that's something that I can do fairly easily without a lot of prep and worry on my part. I do travel a bit with my job, and I do have some upcoming travel. Now, this part down here is going to be a sticker, and we're just going to wing it. So let's find our sticker. It's this one here with the lighter pattern on top. This is the way it's going to go down on our page. And I am going to put this flat on the page. I'm not going to try and pop it up, although I'll pop up the label that we put on top of it. So we've got a 4-inch strip here, and bear with me a second. Let's just eyeball this. We got a 4-inch area, and this guy is 2.5. And so 2.5. So we've got, we have. Okay, y'all, don't make fun of me trying to do math over here. If I want that to be centered, then it's going to look like about 3/4 on either side. And then this is towards the bottom. 3/4. Hold on, guys. Quarters. 1.25 to where the blue is going to hit. All right. how wide are you? 3/4. So, you know what? We're just going to lie it down and it's going to be just fine. So if we do it there, ah, that's not enough. Oh my goodness, that's really sticky, guys. So, see how much that comes in. That's 3/4. I want you 3/4 down. I want you to hit. Nope, it needs to come up just a little bit more. I love this big clear ruler because it has all of these places that I can use for lining up. And I'm only going to get one shot to put this sticker down. So I think that looks about right. So I've just lined this up with the bottom of one set of numbers on my ruler. And now I'm going to try and put it in place. Okay, there we go. Now this is not a sticker, it is a die cut. I am going to put it on dimensionals. Now what you're going to see as you start working with these is that some pages are going to go really fast. Some pages won't go as fast, but as you get into a rhythm, you pick up your pace. So I haven't put this kit together yet, so I don't really know what to expect to know whether to tell you that this is going to be the longer of the ones or the shorter. Some of these embellishments are easy to put down before you put your photos down, and others of them you may want to wait. And I want this to come down. Three-quarters. So, okay, that'll work. Roughly, right there should be the right space. And I'm just eyeing it. That'll work. So when I put this down, for example, in my photo, you can see it comes into the photo here and just a little bit here and here. So the parts that I'm going to adhere down are all going to be off of the photo mat, right? I've got these little pieces to put in, and they are stickers, right? I think. Yep, and they're already flagged. So that's pretty awesome. And you know what? I didn't pay any attention. I forgot my own instructions about not tucking in the bottom. So probably have to lift that up a little bit in order to make that happen, or trim off my my stickers. But let's see, they are each 2¼ inches long, and we have just over 2¼ to the end. So yeah, we want to tuck a bit of that up. I'm going to say that we want the bottom to be, now I'm using the little hash marks that mark the 8ths and the 16ths. So we'll put this one in the middle first. Figure out where our middle is. So this is 2, 4, so the 5 is in the middle. Does not have to be perfect. Again, guys, remember, you can be as picky as you want about that. And then I'm going to put mine about 1/4 of an inch apart. So tuck those back down. There we go. And they are not centered. That's okay. I'm good with that. All right, then we have this leaf that we were talking about earlier, that if we're going to pop it up, and that's the wrong, this one, sorry, I stole it from its sister page. So to pop it up, we're going to want, but we've got this little sticker that we're going to pop up on top of it, so maybe we'll do this part flat. And we'll just pop up the pieces that are on top of it. The little chipboard and the sticker. And I'm going to put this right about there. Okay, now the sticker that goes on top of it is this one. Now, in case you didn't know what I meant about using that embossing buddy, I mean this. So I've got it, it's all sticky. It's really sticky. But I can take my embossing buddy, remember we use this when we're heat embossing, and the sticky just becomes less and less. So it's still a little sticky, but it will work very well now. And grab a dimensional, put it in the top, and it's going to go like so. And then we're going to put a chipboard piece behind it, and identifying which one they used and which one we want to use. Let's see. And these are all perforated as well, so it doesn't take a ton. I feel like this might be the one that they used. But even if it's not, if we like it, we can claim it. So we're going to like it. And I'm just gently popping that out from there. So that's the piece that I have selected to go right here. And so we can color this with some pecan pie ink. Blend a little ink in it. So I'm going to set this over here for just a moment. Here's my pecan pie ink, a clean blending brush, and just some scrap paper. And this is kind of fragile, so you may want to, hold on to it as best you can. And I'm going to kind of do one end so that you can see what a difference this might make and decide if that's, so you can see from a distance, you can probably see better the definition that this is going to add. And you could do, some of these you could add color to, and some of them you not, and then you'd have some variation of the color on your projects too. And you can adhere these with glue dots or a little liquid glue, whichever you prefer. I'm kind of a a green glue girl, so I am going to take my green glue and I'm going to tuck this behind this little green, at least I think. Let's see if that's going to tuck far enough. And I don't think it will because I've got that dimensional, so I'm actually going to cut a little bit of this off so I can tuck it farther. You know, I could move my glue dot, but I kind of want that to go. It's kind of the way they have it. I am kind of a rule follower, so when I do something the first time, I generally do it the way the instructions are provided. Oh, okay. Well, that's not quite what I had in mind, but you know, that's an opportunity to talk about, you know, glue lifters, adhesive lifters, and such. So after it dries, I can take this little guy and probably pick up that glue that might be stuck there. Okay, then we have a piece down here and a little flower. So let's see what we like down there. So we need a piece that is, do we have any that are just 3? Here we go. This one I think is going the way we want it. Come on. Okay, that can go there. And then we've got a little flower. And I'm not very good at figuring out how big something needs to be. So I'm going to get out my little, and it says it needs to be, so it's going to be 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. That one is right at 1/2. That one is right at 3/4. So let's see. Yep, that one wins. And let's blend some pecan pie on the flower and then not on the leaves. Will give us a little color variation. Okay. And then I do not have this adhered down yet, so I'm going to add a little green glue to it. Now you add page protectors over your pages when you have them finished. And that's your opportunity to add flip flaps too, which we need to show in a video at some point. I need to practice that, however, before I show it. So, but it simply lets you create just a little, it just is like a clear envelope that allows you to add more photos. And so you turn 3 into 6 or however many. You can hide your journaling behind a photo. So many possibilities with those, and they're called flip flaps. Okay, so we've got a couple more stickers that we can put down without worrying about having photos. And then we might need to come back and add these after we have photos. So let's see, this one says happiness and pure sweetness. Those are stickers. And here is happiness. And we'll put it down and then we'll put pure sweetness. And this is kind of awesome with the plaid. You can decide kind of where you want that to line up. Makes it easier for people like me. And then Pure Sweetness just under it. Elements of 3 are important in your scrapbooking, just like they are in your card making. Odd numbers almost always, but elements of 3 to kind of take your eye around. So you can see how this is taking your eye around. And then when we put the 2, then that happens even more so. All right, so that is pretty much page 1. What are you thinking so far? Yeah, I like it too. I'm a little excited. I'm going to clean up just a little bit and then get my page 2 out. I'll put this over here so we can refer to it. And then here is page 2. Turn the page in our instructions and see what we have here. All right, so it tells us first to put down our plaid, okay, and then to put down 1G and 1H, which are, where are you? Okay, here's 1H is going to go here, and 1G is going to go down at the bottom. And then we've got all kinds of measurements to help us line that up, okay? So let's scoot this off, and we'll put this guy down. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the hardest one for me to get on straight. It's big. And getting that spacing right and straight. No, that looks not right yet. It looks bigger over here. Okay, when all else fails, when you can't eyeball it, then you start making some hash marks. So I need 1/4 on each side. And if you are good at even, or this doesn't bother you, please skip this step. If you need it, however, it's good to know that the directions include it. And then once we get this plaid down, I think we'll be able to use the plaid a good bit in lining up the other pieces. So I'm curious, if you're a paper crafter, are you a card maker or a scrapbooker first? Or I guess, those are not necessarily the only options. And I think I've gotten, oh my gosh, guys. I drew 3 little hash marks. And I gotta line them up. There's 1, 2. I have no idea where the 3rd one went. Okay. So we're gonna use this on this side, and then that should be pretty close. Close enough. Whew. Okay, then it said to put down these guys. And they are coming in 2 1/4 inches. Okay. And they're coming in flush. And they're coming in from the edge of the plaid. So, oh, all right. So that's pretty much going to be right at this plaid. And so that's what we're going to use top to bottom, okay? We're going to use this plaid edge. All right, so we have that. Now we'll do one I and one J, which are the two flowers that go up here, and they are 1¼ inches in, which is going to be just in the middle of this guy. And they are these two floral ones. And they're going to bump up into, right? Wait, no, they're going to overlap a bit. They're going to come in 5/8, which is here. So 5/8 is on that line. And we need 1¼ which is over here. So, like so, which actually puts us at the line on this side. So pretty awesome to be working with the plaid like this. Then 5/8 from the bottom, so the same kind of thing. So figure out what 5/8 is. All right, so from here is our line, and we want come on. My paper and ruler are moving, but my glue is trying to stick. All right. Should be good. All right, there's G and H, I and J, and then K and L. Okay. So a strip of the wild wheat would have been easier, but it would have used a lot more paper. So your call if you want how you want that to be. And I'm just going to tuck that under a little bit so I don't have a raw edge. And I'm just running it there, okay? So get up, get over, and I hope that y'all can see. Okay, that's that. And then we're going to have a 1M is going to be next. And 1M, are these all the same size? These are, right? They look like they are. So then I feel like we're just going to center that a bit. And again, I'm going to stick the dark peacock as my mat. Look at my time. All right, so we're pushing an hour here. All right, then we're going to put our photo mat here. It's the same size as this, so it just needs to, we need to know how far over to come. 1 1/4, which will be here. Where'd my pencil go? Here. So, and you'll see there's 1 1/4. So I can put my ruler down against the bottom of that, right, so that I get straight across this way. Put my adhesive down. Oh, perhaps I should put my wild wheat piece down first. And it is going to come 2 3/4 inches from that, which will be right there. And then, as long as that is straight, which I'm not entirely sure that it is. And then where's my 1 1/4? It's marked there. Okay. Then we'll get the sky. Oops. Okay, didn't really want it there. But now the cool thing too is that I can go from the edge of that one, although it's pretty much there. And then we have our stripe piece that we'll put in, we'll work down this way too. So we'll do 2 3/4. So you can see once you get the pattern going, you pick up momentum. And then that should also line up with these three. So that did okay. And I'm going to go ahead and tuck this in, and we'll do the stripe side for this one. This is so pretty. And again, it's just lining up here and here. And we'll tuck this one in. Come on, slide that in. Goes right there. And then this will be the last one. And I bet you can get a feel for where it's going to go, right? It is going to line up with those two. Got to get my head in here somehow. Whoa, it slid. There we go. Okay, so then we just have our stickers to go here and our die cuts, which We should have, oh, here they are. So like this is going to go here. And I put it flush. It's funny, it's not easy to see on the stripe where it should be. This guy is going to go down here. When you add adhesive to these leaves, hold on to the leaf because that little, those are skinny. Okay, it's a thin paper. It's going to come. Things like that. Has some things that we can pop up on top of it. So together we have it all is what we're looking for. So again, we pop this up. Remember, we'll take our embossing buddy or just dab it on your jeans or a towel. And we've got a couple, get the mini dimensionals out. Oops. So if you did one of these kits every month, you have a completed album by the end of the year. I think that's pretty cool. Because you do 6 pages each month, right? In fact, when we do the virtual scrapbook retreat in July, that is going to be 12 2-page spreads that we are going to complete during that 3-day time period. So you'll have a full year. I just can't wait. All right, there's that. And then we need a special day, just over here. Hopefully it's not confusing and that everybody understands that this is not something that you can have enough supplies at the event on the 3rd to do these 6 pages plus the projects we're going to do. You will not have enough stickers and die cuts for that. You would need to purchase another scrapbook kit or the designer series paper and sticker sheet. And then you could always improvise with other supplies if you needed extra die cuts. You could use your die cuts from your other bundles. All right, and then we have a little heart that we're going to add here. And oops, that's too big. We'll just do a mini. Oh, and you know what? I think it's the dark one. Not that it matters. But I told you I had to do it by the rules the first time. Okay. Now, this heart is going to go right there. There we go. Then we have this for some journaling to go here. So since we're going to be writing on this, it needs to be flush. Okay. And we're going to want to get these stripes pretty much horizontal. I've got a sticker I'm going to put up at the top. So I'm not doing this what is my word? I did not do it top to bottom. And let's go ahead and do this on dimensionals as well. All right, I really wasn't sure when I scheduled these videos how much time to allow, and we're right at 1 hour. I don't really want to go past an hour on our videos, but I don't want to cut you off if there's something valuable here that you need to see. So, but I think at this point we're just decorating, and we could probably turn ourselves loose. And this is the kind of cool thing about I see better trying to line things up straight when I use the camera. Okay, so that's that. There is a chipboard piece that goes here of a heart. We've got this sticker. Where are you? This beautiful sticker. And you could recreate some of these stickers with the stamps that coordinate. The Everyday You and Me bundle. You can definitely do something like this. Okay, we're going to do this. We'll say like so. And then best of times. It's kind of fun to add these little finishing touches, right? This is the bling. Of course, you could add bling too. There's not ribbon and such in the kits that I've put together. That doesn't mean you couldn't add some. And you will have bling in your National Scrapbook Day kit that would coordinate, that you could definitely use on these or any coordinating pages. Okay, and then this. Like so. And then, yep, we need a chipboard piece that looks like it needs to have 5. It's not a sticker, is it? No, not another die cut. It has to be a chipboard piece. So I'll show you guys. So this is kind of what I'm looking for here. So it could be this one. I don't think that's going to look exactly like what they have over there, but it will be pretty. We'll add some pecan pie ink, blending, bring that back in. we will have done. Now, sometimes when I have embellishments that are peeking into a photo mount, but I don't have my photos ready, um, sometimes I'm able just to not put adhesive on the part that would be on the photo or not peel back the back of the dimensional yet. And that way I can put the embellishment down before I have my photos. Now, I didn't do that with the first page that we did. I left the embellishments off with the goal of coming back after I had my photos, because I think those are too thin for me to adhere them in place, but wait for photos, if that makes sense. I have it. I have pecan pie ink all over myself. That's all right. I'm just going to add a couple of dots of glue. Glue dots work, okay, if you're green glue messy, and I'm green glue messy. Gosh, somebody please don't think that because I'm using it, I think I'm not. I know that I am. And these little tweezers come in quite handy for things like this. If you can figure out where you want to grab it. I think I like that just like that. All right, so here we go, everybody. So here is the right side of the page, right? Photo, photo, photo. And then the left, this is how they look together. And I will try and take some photos and add those to the posts when we're all done with today. Let's see if I can move us back enough. Woohoo! No, I can't, because that just, yeah, that doesn't, there. That's about as good as I can get, everybody. Okay, there we have it. Okay, I'll be back in just 53 minutes, and we'll do pages 3 and 4. And I hope that this is helping you in your, even if you're not working on this, if you're crafting along with me, that's great. I'd love to know that. Tell me what you're working on. Let me know what you think about this kit. Remember, this is on the last chance list. A lot of the others are not, but this one is. The designer series paper is still going to be available, but the kit itself is retiring. So, all right, I will talk to you again. See you back here at 2 o'clock Central. Take care. Thanks for being here. And where's my mouse? There it is. All right, bye-bye.